Man, what a wild day today. So, I went out there, did some work in my truck, and I gave one of my students a pretest today. We did that, and I sent him home for the day. And then I got out there with my next student, and I was all like, you know what, since you came in early, let's go ahead and do some in cabs. And I have my new guy there too. My new guy, man, he stunned me with his pre-trip. He really did. Like, he knew his pre-trip. It was awesome. I was like, man, this dude is hungry. He wants that CDL. So I was like, man, this is great. Everything's going great. And I was like, hey, let's jump in here and do an in cap. So, my guy that's testing on Friday, I said, let's do an in cap. So we're doing this in cap, and everything's going good. And then the warning light and buzzer will not go off in my truck. It's on. I was like, man, what's going on? So I built up the air pressure. We built up the air pressure. It's over 100. Warning light and buzzer's still going on. It's, psh, the truck sneezes. Psh, it hits the governor cutout. And guess what? The warning light and buzzer's still on. And I'm all like, so I try to figure out what. And I'm all like, man, we are coming up to my guy's test time. Like, we are super close to the time that he needs to be out there to test. And this truck is messing up on me. And I said, hey, man, my truck's having some issues. Like, let me see what I can do. I couldn't do nothing. That warning light's just over there. Beep, beep, beep. I mean, the buzzer's over there. Beep, beep, beep. It got the red lights on the dash for the warning light. The low air pressure lights on. I'm like, what the heck? I got full air tanks. Like, there's no way like this is going on right now. So then I'm like, man, I got to get a pad truck and I got to call road assist. So I called I called the shop first. I was like, hey, man, I got a test coming up in about an hour, maybe less than that. I said, is there any way that you can get me in there, take a look at this? I told them what was going on, and they're all like, no, that sounds like it needs to go to Freightliner. Our shop is booked for a while. I was like, dang. So I had to go grab a pad truck. I was like, man, let me get this pad truck out here. Road assist got on the phone with me. They said, hey, we got a set up to go in the shop at Freightliner. Can you take it over there now? I was like, no, I can't. I got a test going on right now. Like, I got to hook up this trailer. I got to put this trailer out there. So, I grabbed my student and I'm all like, hey, let's go check in real fast. So we went and checked in. I had a pad truck, threw it on a trailer, drove it out there to pad number 4 for my guy to test out. And then I'm all like, all right, let's check these lights. I'm all like, that's good. Let's get in here and do an Airbrakes test. I'm all like, just to make sure that you're not going to have any issues. And I pushed that pedal all the way down on that truck, and I'm looking at the gauge, and I'm all like, all right, I'm going to start my time now. And I'm looking at my air gauge, and it's going, tss. I'm like, are you for reals? I mean, like, it wasn't like a dangerous going down, but I was like, dude, man, this truck is losing air. And I was all like, oh no. I said, here's what you need to do. I said, because you're checking to see if this truck is safe. I said, what we're going to do is we're going to do this air brakes, or you're going to do the air brakes. I said, if it's not losing air when you do it, then that's great. I said, go ahead and my air pressure did not drop more than 4 PSI in 1 minute. I said, but if it's leaking air, I said, make sure when you do it, you let the examiner know, because he's watching it too. Because you're checking to make sure this truck is safe. Make sure that you're all like, Mr. Examiner, the truck is losing more than 4 PSI in 1 minute. And that should cover you. Like, you should be good. So, I've been around for a while, and I've always known that if something was unsafe, you tell the examiner, and the examiner makes a decision if he wants to continue the test or if he wants to go ahead and get another truck out there. So I was all like, man. So I caught the examiner. I said, look, man, I had to borrow this truck. This truck has a little air leak in it. this is what's going on. And he was all like, hey, can he make sure that the truck's safe? Is he checking to see if it's safe? And he's going to notice that? And I said, yeah, because we were kind of away from the student whenever I talked to him. And he's all like, yeah. I was like, okay. He was like, okay. That's all I need to know is he actually checking to see if the truck's safe? He was all like, how bad of an air leak? I said, yeah, it might be right at 4 psi. It might be a little bit more. You know, the needle does move while you're doing the air brakes. He goes, okay, as long as he tells me, he knows that what he needs to do. He knows how to check the air brakes. I was like, yeah. I said, but he's gonna, you know, the truck's not gonna pass. And he was all like, that's fine, just go inside. And I was like, okay. So instead of going inside, you know, I had to take this truck to a Freightliner. So I like jumped in my truck, booked it over to a Freightliner. I ran into Primetime Fits. I was like, hey, can you come pick me up at Freightliner? And, you know, Primetime Fits came through for me. He was all like, man, I got you, bro. Like, I got you. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to pick you up right now. Let's go. And I was all like, man, that's awesome, dude. Like, man, that's cool. So dropped that truck off, took it in there, dropped the keys off. I said, hey, while the truck's in the shop, can you fix my dome light? Because my dome light hasn't worked since. And I thought about it, and I was all like, man, whenever I found out my dome light wasn't working, it was last 4th of July when I set myself on fire. That's another story. Like, do not use gasoline to start a bonfire. But I remember that because I had to work nights, and we were driving down the road, and my dome light up there was a strobe light. I was like, man, this thing keeps on coming on and off, and we're on the road driving, and I'm like, oh Jesus, this dome light is driving me nuts. So Primetime Fits back then, you know, I was burnt, like I was still healing. I couldn't climb up there and take it down, but I remember Primetime Fits climbed up there and helped me out and took my dome light out, you know, because he's a good friend, and he's tall, and he like, hey, you guys want to know a secret? Primetime Fits is a freaking giant. Just so you know, like, when you go meet Primetime Fits or you're looking for him, look for like the tallest guy around, because it's usually him. He's a giant. So he pulled my light down. It's been down ever since. So I'm like, dang, my light's been down for almost a year. Because I try to find a fuse. There's no fuse for it. Somehow it's tied into the computer. It's a Freightliner issue. It happens all the time. Whatever. You know, so I got my truck in the shop, and they're fixing that. They've already fixed my warning light and buzzer. I think they said it was a regulator valve sensor or something like that. But they got that fixed, and then they said, hey, but we're going to keep your truck because there's a warranty issue. Your battery cables they're on a recall. We're going to have to replace your battery cables, so you're not going to have your truck back tonight. And I was like, oh, man, that's not good. And they're all like, maybe tomorrow early, maybe. It depends if we can get to it or not. And I was like, man, that's cool. So, you know, I leave my truck and I take off back to the pad. You know, we get back, I go inside, and the examiner's barely walking out there to test my student. And I was like, man, I went and dropped my truck off at Freightliner and came back, and the test is just barely started. So I went inside, played on my phone for a little while. They came back from the drive, and nobody was giving me like a thumbs up like he passed. I was like, no way this dude failed. I was like, no way this dude failed. I mean, like, I taught him how to drive. Like, this dude's a beast. I know they went on the drive, so I was like, what the heck's going on? Come to find out that he passed his test, and the examiner was all like, he had 7 points, and guess what? 6 of them were 4. And I said, he already told me, because he told me while he was getting some paperwork. He goes, man, I got 6 points for one hand on the wheel. And I've been telling, like, I told him, hey, man, 2 hands on the wheel, 2 hands on the wheel. And he was pretty good at it when we went driving. I think I only caught him like 2 times the other day. But I guess nerves set in, and he was one-handed turning. So it cost him 6 points in that, and then another point for a blinker, I believe. But, hey, he joined the purple badge gang over there. So he's a purple badge holder now, and congratulations, great guy. I wish him the best. And then after his test, I took my other guy out there and I stood in the rain out there and I showed him the alley dock and let him do it and do it and do it. And we figured out a lot about the alley dock, and you know what a freaking day it was. You know, it was pretty nuts. Like my truck going to the shop, like I can't wait to get my truck back. I need my truck. I want my truck back. I'm in a pad truck. I had a pad truck yesterday, and tomorrow I'm gonna get a pad truck again because I have to test my other student out in another pad truck, unless they call me bright and early in the morning before 10 a.m. because I'm testing them at 10 a.m. So, you know, what an eventful day though. And my poor truck is gonna hopefully gets out of the shop tomorrow. I'm hoping. Tennessee Flatbed told me, hey, if you need a truck, you can use mine, which that was awesome, man. I do appreciate that, you know. So, I mean, hey, we look out for each other over here. And, you know, thanks to Primetime Fits going and picking me up from Freightliner, I didn't have to wait on that shuttle. And they did say that the shuttles don't run over there no more, which I don't understand. But, you know, hey, it happens. Like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget, tomorrow at 7 p.m., if y'all have any questions for Twisted Big D or any flatbed questions, I'm going to have Tennessee Flatbed over here. So write down y'all's questions, get them ready, and get them ready for tomorrow, 7 p.m. I'm out. Like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell. Get my latest lives. Get my newest videos. Also, in the description, there's a link to fill out an application and get my recruiter. My recruiter's good. Don't forget to drop that referral code, COXDJO. Also, my phone number is 417-894-8098. Drop me a call, text me, something.